Top of the morning to you. I hope you're all fine and dandy and staying ahead of the game. Remember, it is a game, and each one of us must play our part. Thank you for joining me again today, and we're going to be looking at a Facebook post that I made a while ago, and this is one of the images here from the post. So we'll have a look at the post, and I've had a lot of people asking me just to share what I share on Facebook on my YouTube channel. So this is just a recording of a post that I made a while ago, which I just reposted again today. And I made this post back in November 2024, the 6th of November, which is 9/11 reversed 6/11. Anyway, this is the post. Someone had asked me the question, what does this Bible verse really mean? Jeremiah 5 verse 6 to 7. And I did have an image of it somewhere. Yeah, Jeremiah, that doesn't matter. Well, the image is actually on the post, that's it there. So that is the verse 6 to 7. So they asked this question, what does this actually mean? And my response on Facebook was as such. What does this Bible verse really mean? Jeremiah 5 verse 6 to 7. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Every one that goeth out thence shall be torn into pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased. How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that are no gods. When I had fed them to the full, then they committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. So my answer was, the house of God, the throne of God, and the gate of heaven, or paradise, paradisus, is the north celestial pole, immediately above Polaris, in the north, not in the east. The middle or near east is not the real Eden. It's not the real Jerusalem. It's not anything. It's all fake, set up by the colonial powers. The North Celestial Pole in the heavens is where it is all happening. It is nowhere else. It's right here, over the British Isles, the Covenant lands. The word Brit, I often get asked why I type British out like that, because in Hebrew, which is ancient Brythonic, the word Brit is covenant, and Ish means man in Hebrew. In Hebraic, Ish is man. So the covenant, Brit, Ish, the covenant of man lands. So the North Celestial Pole, I'll go back and read that again, sorry. The North Celestial Pole in the heavens is where it all is. It is nowhere else. It's right here over the British Isles, the covenant lands, and always has been, the North. Heracles, the body, called out. This is the third heaven, where Heracles, was caught up to, as this is the ancient man the Greek apostle Paul was talking about in 2 Corinthians 12:2, when he said he knew of a man, 14 generations past. It isn't years, it's generations, it's written in Greek. Whether it was in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. He was retelling the story and position of Hercules within the North Celestial Pole. I knew a man who was caught up to the third heavens. That body of man is where Hercules, the called out one, stands to battle the great dragon, Draco, even now. The house of God, the North Celestial Pole, heaven's centre, is where Hercules, or Heracles, the called out one, in circles around the Draco, the first beast of Revelation. And the beast with the headwind, which has been healed, which of course is the great dragon Hydra, the multi-headed asterism, which takes its power from the first beast, from Draco. These are the only two creatures, snake-like creatures, which are great dragons, challenging Eden and the kingdom of God. They're challenging the pole, the North Celestial Pole. Inside the North Celestial Pole is Eden, and from there shine the 7 perpetual lights of creation. This is represented by various objects and traditions within all the monotheistic religions. The most obvious being the 7 branches, the Jewish menorah and the Hanukkah story. Christianity, Islam and all other religions get their narrative from these 7 celestial luminaries as they circle the pole star. The Hajj, the pilgrimage at Mecca, is another example of this astrological dance in the heavens, as Muslims are commanded to encircle the Kaaba, the cube, representing the pole star, the cube, 7 times. It's nothing to do with Saturn. 7 times Muslims are instructed to circle the Kaaba, where they throw stones at the 360 degrees, the 360 gods of the infidel, those who stray or go out from Allah's command. As for what we are led to believe as the ancient Eastern religions, they also take their stories and teachings too from the 7 beings, the 7 lights, or the 7 sages, the gurus, which represent the 7 luminaries which circle the North Celestial Pole. Of course, these seven luminaries are the identifiable asterisms: Hercules, Draco, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, Lyra, Cygnus, the house of Cephas. Outside, beyond the house of Cephas, beyond the garden and beyond the walls, is the ecliptic. And further still, the wider circle, further out, is the South Celestial Pole, the underworld, the third world, the lower realm, Hades, Gades, Tartarus, Tarshish, Tyre, Sidon, also known as Hell. And what do we find out there? A great troop of creatures and wild beasts that mingle with her, the great prostitute in the harlot's house. Oh, what can the harlot's houses be? Are these not the 12 houses, the 12 zodiacal signs? The ecliptic, where many or most people nowadays have the majority of their focus and attention placed. What else do we have outside the North Celestial Pole, outside Eden? What else do we see out there? That every one goeth out thence after, and they shall be torn into pieces. We need to look at the image below, and we need to look at, I'll put a thing up here from Stellarium. We can see what exactly we have in the heavens. Everything is written in the heavens from the North Celestial Pole. We have the lion of the Caledonian forest, the Nemean lion, which of course Hercules also dealt with. And then we have the wolves, or a wolf, or dogs in some versions. The book of Revelation mentions dogs, sorcerers, and those who are the adulterers. And now that can only be Canis Major, Canis Minor, and then there, of course, is Lepus, the wolf, Sirius, the dog star, in the land of Canaan, Bacanan, the central belt of heaven, domain of the god of the dead, the hunt, Orion, Osiris. Then there's the leopard, and then there's the lynx, and then there's the beast that we know as Camelarpidus, the strange halfling camel, Kamala, leopard, and lion combined. Reminds me of a griffin, or a Scottish betach, a Gallic beast, or the US elections, Kamala Harrison. So So when taken seriously and not under the guise of some religious indoctrination, the Almighty Creator is telling us to remain focused on the eternal lights of heaven, the 7 lights, the 7 luminaries that circle the North Celestial Pole. Outside that remit is a slippery slope, a slope which can take you down into the underworld, and the great whore who sits over the houses beyond the ecliptic. When the Bible talks about backsliding or falling away from the faith, it means chasing the material, carnal world, that which is not of the third heaven, but that of the lower realms, that which is of the harlots' houses, where the beasts fell to, and where they dwell in order to devour. When the Bible talks about the flesh and the carnal desires, it is talking about the lower realms, as shown in the heavens from the tree. There is one tree of life, the North Celestial Pole, and there is another tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the South Celestial Pole. One tree gives life, and the other is their Kabbalah tree of the God of the dead. It offers riches and pleasures, but it never satisfies, because it's based on material gain. Here and now, it doesn't store up its treasures in heaven. Their tree leads you to the underworld. Materialism, desire for here and now, only leads you to death. Unfortunately, most people are controlled by the ever-changing lower world, the lower realm, the Kabbalah tree, especially the material world that's controlled from London, all the stock markets, all the goodies and all the trappings. I hope everyone can see what I'm trying to show here in this post. The Bible itself, indeed everything, is a manifestation of what we see in the heavens. It's astro-theological, as above, so below, and so also within us. The religions and various movements, not just religions, but various movements that are there to steer mankind away, are there to prevent you and I seeing and knowing the divinity within us, and knowing this truth. So is the Q movement and Trump and a lot of that stuff. It's there to take you away from the truth. They are all there to stop you knowing this stuff and knowing the power of self. The Q logo type image was only used in this post because it is the first Q image I found online. It's getting harder to find anything online nowadays. Everything's filtered and controlled. I hope this question and answer was helpful and that it's useful for those who are on YouTube and don't have Facebook. It can be explained in much greater detail by trying to keep things short. This is a shorter post, surprisingly. Stay blessed, stay sovereign, keep shining. Much love.